Hey everybody, it's Mallory from The Stare Down, and in this week's episode, it is the first episode of the new series that I'm going to start that's going to come out periodically outside of the normal schedule, but we're going to be talking about women in coaching and officiating positions. So if you're ready, sit back, relax, grab a drink or two, and listen to The Stare Down. All right, so really quick shout out to my friend Earl. He is the listener who gave this suggestion. I think it's a fantastic topic, and part of the reason why I'm going to do it as a series is because when I started researching it, there ended up being so much more information than I ever thought I would find. In some ways, that's been really good. In other ways, it's been very bad because you can totally get overwhelmed by it. But I want to start out today with numbers because I think numbers, it's easier to kind of visualize, right? So in my search for numbers, I found a great organization called the Institute for Diversity and Ethics in Sport, TIDES, TIDES. The non-Bama fan in me doesn't really love it, but it's okay. It's okay. But they do yearly report cards for college sports, pro sports, all of these things, and what their racial diversity is in terms of athletes and also coaches and support staff. So I figured we'd start here. And where I really want to start is with the NCAA. Tennis, those kinds of things, because the last I checked, there weren't any female head football coaches, especially in Division I. In Division II, it's 5%, which is 107. In Division III, it was 7%, which is a total number of 281. For women's sports, thank goodness we get a little bit better here, guys and girls. Everybody, we get better here. So in 2021, 2022, for Division I women's sports, 42.1% were head coaches. Women, head coaches of women's sports, 42%. That means that there's about 58% that are men coaching women's sports. Okay, I want to make sure you guys get that. In Division II, it's 35.6%, which means there's about 65% that are men. Okay, in Division III, it's 43.8%. So 43.8% of the total women's sports head coaches are women. About 56%, 56.2% if we're going to be precise here, are men. So basically, nowhere in the 2021-2022 year did Division I, II, or III have at least half of the women's sports head coaches be women. Mind-boggling, guys. Mind-boggling. But it's okay, right? Men absolutely know what women want and what women need. I won't sing Christina Aguilera for you, so you're very, very welcome. All right, so we can get into kind of the racial diversity, but I'm saving that one for another day because that's going to be a whole other thing in and of itself. Like, it's just going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. So we'll hit on the racial diversity later. So let's then go into some of the other stuff. And guys, I'm scrolling down through these because these things are like 99 pages long. So there's a lot of stuff to go to. Okay, college assistant coaches, Division I. This was the next one I wanted to get to. So there are a total of 2021-2022 school year, again, women's sports, there were a total of 3,443 assistant head coaches. That's 47.4%. That means 52.6% of women's sports assistant coaches were men. So again, more than half are men here. In men's sports, 91.3% were men, 8.7% were women. So 761 compared to 7,955. But hey, I'll be honest, for Division I, for there to be that many assistant coaches that are women on men's sports, I was kind of impressed. I was honestly expecting 500 or less. That one was something to me. In Division II, women's sports, we get better here, guys. We're finally getting there. 49.8% of women's sports assistant coaches in Division II were women. 50.2% were men. It's 2,110 versus 2,097. So we're talking a difference of 13 coaches here. But still, it's better. Ugh, that's not good, though. It's still just not good to say that. For men's sports, this one was the shocking one to me. For men's sports, Division II, 2021-2022 school year, 89.2% of assistant coaches for men's sports were men. That means 10.8% were women. 547 female assistant coaches for Division II men's sports teams. Good for you, Division II. Good for you. Now, for Division III, women's sports, same school year. These are the numbers I like to see. 53.1% of assistant coaches for Division III schools were women, and that's for women's sports. 46.9% were men. For men's sports, your mind's going to be blown, guys. Just hold on. 87.4% of men's sports assistant coaches are men. 87.4. That means 12.6% are women. That is a total of 1,267 female assistant coaches for men's sports in Division III. Can we just round of applause for Division III, y'all? Round of applause. You got to start somewhere, right? Like, this is how you go and you learn under these coaches, and you get in a weight room and you figure out how to run programs, and a lot of times in women's sports, your budgets, especially in college, they're not very big. And then you get, raked over the coals because you're losing money every year, even if you are winning a Division I basketball championship for women. Looking at you, LSU. Y'all lost money. It's okay. For the most part, everybody does. So, it's okay. But Division III obviously seems to understand that it doesn't really matter. Like, if you know what you're talking about, like, let's go for it. Now, what I would love to see, and I'm sure I will find more of this as I do continue to research, is, what are these things? Is it rifle? I don't, somebody can shoot a gun. Doesn't matter if it's male or female. Like, the rules, I believe, are the same depending on which event you're doing. Same thing for track. I'm sure, like, weight room, yeah, there are some different things, but there are female personal trainers in the world that men go see, and vice versa. So yeah, I think these numbers are going to eventually start telling what we think we know, but actually, like I said, kind of putting that numerical marker in our heads. So I'm interested to dive into this more. All right, now let's go to college athletics directors, Division I, 2021 to 2022. Division I, 49, so 15% were women. 278 were men, so 85%. Division II, 25% are women with 70. 75% are men with 210. Division III, 33.3% are women, 147 total. 66.7% were men, so 295. And like I said, I'm going to kill y'all with some numbers here, so I promise this is going somewhere. Just hang with me. College senior athletic administrators, associate athletics directors. For Division I, there is a total of 774 women compared to 1,585 men. So it's about 33% compared to 67%. For Division 2, 165 women compared to 236 men. So it's 41% compared to about 59%. In Division 3, man, y'all just keep making me happy here. 48.8% are women. That's 216. 227 are men. So, hey, the ladies are catching up in Division 3 for us, for associate athletics directors. I feel like I'm seeing a trend here, though, right? Like, it seems like we're going better as we go down. Is it? I don't know. Like, any thoughts on correlations there? If you have any ideas, let me know. Just please let me know why you think it could be that. And guys, like, we could keep on going on these, but one of the things that I do want to hit are some of the other things, like the officials, faculty athletics representatives. 2021-2022 school year. Division 1. Women, 129 total. Men, 211. So it's 38% compared to 62%. Division 2. Division 2, you got to step it up here. 89 women compared to 192 men. So 32% compared to 68%. I know we're going to be shocked again, right? Division 3, 196 women, 299 men. So about 40% and 60%. Sports information directors. Now, these are fun. What I do find a little disheartening on this is it doesn't give me the total number. It just gives me the racial breakout. But that's going to be a fun one to dive into, because I think on that one I'm going to do a little bit more as, and I'm only doing more on the sports information directors because I worked in sports information in college, and so I think that's just super, super cool. Some of the other things that this thing breaks out, and it's so cool. College professional administration by position. And it's like academic advisor counselors, business managers, compliance coordinators, officers, equipment managers, fundraising development managers, facility manager, life skills coordinator, promotions marketing, sports information directors, associate or assistant SIDs, strength coaches, ticket managers. They break it down. It doesn't give me total numbers. It just gives me the breakdown of racial makeup here. So that'll be a fun one to dive into. Now, the part that the NCAA probably doesn't want us to talk about, but we dive into theirs. Like, what did their NCAA executive, profiles look like? What does their entire staff look like? So for 2022, there were a total of 24 NCAA executive senior or vice presidents, 7 of which were women, 17 were men. So 41%. All right. It's not great. It's not bad, though. It's not bad. I was probably expecting, if I'm being honest, around 30%. NCAA managing directors, or just directors as a whole, out of 108, 51 are women, so that's about 47%. All right, we're getting better. So again, trend here, the high ups, man, they like their men, but as you keep kind of working your way down, the women are okay. So we're starting to figure this out. Once you get into the NCAA administrators, there's a total of 368. 213 were female, so about 58%. Again, definitely seeing a trend. Total full-time NCAA staff, 510 total full-time staff. 288 were women, so about 57%. So not horrible, right? Not horrible at all. But I think this whole thing, and y'all, these are just the data breakdowns. Like, this is just about the last 30 pages of this document. That means the first 60 to 70 pages are the narrative that go behind this. And they break this down and they talk about what it means and where are the spots where, we could focus on bringing in more women or bringing in more racially diverse hires. As a data junkie, again, I worked in sports information. I obviously love data, especially data around sports. This is just mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. Now, I'm going to give you guys something else that's mind-blowing. I think I told you this same organization also provides this information for professional leagues. So, I have the 2022 NBA Racial and Gender Report Card statistics. League offices, 43.4% are women. President, CEO, 10.5%. Head coaches, none. Assistant coaches, 3.6%. No general managers. 30% are team vice presidents. Team management, 39% are women. Professional administration jobs, which I think would probably go back to like the equipment, staff, all of that, like what we just went through with the NCAA, 34.2%. So the NBA actually got an overall grade as an A, which I think is interesting because that's not great. Now, they even go on and further break it down for the league office, the grade 43.4% being women, that gave them an A. Vice presidents, 30%. That only gave them a C+. Team management, 39%. A B+. Professional admin, 34.2 was a B. And CEO president, 10.5%. That gave them a big fat F. Which, I mean, yeah, they don't really want to have women owning, right? All right. Now let's go on to Major League Baseball. 2022, central office, 29.2% are women. President, CEOs, 3.8%. 0 head coaches or managers. Assistant coaches, 1.3%. General managers, 3.3%. Team vice presidents, 18.3%. Senior administrators, 27.4%. And professional administration, 26.9%. So for central office, 29.1% got Major League Baseball a C+. Team VPs at 22% got them a D. Senior administrators, 28.5% got them a C. Professional administration jobs, 25.5% got them a C-. CEO president of 0 got them a big fat F. Isn't this fun? I think this is so fun. And you can't argue this, right? Like you can't argue this. Numbers are numbers. Like if you have 2 people and they are both male, then that means you have 0 females. Like it's not that hard. So Major League Soccer 2022. League office, women, 40.5%. President, CEOs, 14.3%. Head coaches, none. Assistant coaches, none. General managers, 2.8%. Let's not give them more than they deserve. 2.8% for general managers. Team vice presidents, 28.7%. Senior administrators, 28.2%. Professional administration jobs, 37.1%. 40.5% being in the league office gave them an A-. 28.7% vice presidents for teams gave them a C-. Senior administrators, 28.2% got them a D. Professional administration jobs, 37.1% got them a C. CEO president of 14.3% got them an F. I'm actually kind of impressed that 14% are female. So good for them on that. In comparison to everybody else, it's better. It's not great. My favorite, the 2022 NFL stats. League office, 41.3% women. CEO president, 9.4% women. Head coaches, Assistant coaches, 1.9%. Hey, girls, hey. General managers, Team vice presidents, 23.4%. Senior administrators, 28.4%. Professional administration jobs, 32.2%. Executive leadership, 24.3%. So let's break that down. League office, 41.3% got them an A-. Team vice presidents, 23.4% got them a D+. Senior administrators, 28.4% got them a C. Professional administration jobs, 32.2% got them a B-. C-suite, 24.3% C-. CEO president, 9.4%, F. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, though. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Again, not great, but NFL obviously has something going on. I almost said Major League Soccer, but the American football, we've somehow, somewhere, someone figured that out, I guess. All right. 2022 WNBA scorecard. League offices, 69.4% were women. 75% were presidents and CEOs. 58.3% were head coaches. Ooh. Yikes. Not great there. Not great there. Assistant coaches, 64.7%. General managers, 33.3%. Team vice presidents, 48.3%. Managers to senior directors, 55.9%. Professional team staff, which I would imagine is like the senior administration kind of staff, 49.2%. Overall, I feel like WNBA did pretty well here, except when it comes to general managers. League office, 65.4%, got them an A+. Team vice presidents, 48.3%, got them an A+. Managers to senior directors, 55.9%, got them an A+. Professional team staff, 49.2%, got them an A+. CEO president, 75%, got them an A+. General managers, 33.3%, got them a B-. Head coaches, 58.3%, got them an A-. Y'all, that should be an F. Okay, I won't be that harsh. That should be a C. That should be a C. Assistant coaches, 64.7% gets them an A+. That's where we're at. Y'all, that is where we are at. And again, this is 2022, so there may be some other things that have gone into this in the last couple of years where maybe these numbers have changed, but I mean, this isn't too far ago and too far back. So I think this is a great start. You can only imagine what this series is going to feel like. It's not going to be very easy. I'm going to make the case against probably my better judgment, and I'm sure against the better judgment of some. They probably would not want me to talk about it, but that's okay because we're not here to talk about things that are just going to make everybody feel so happy and lovely all the time. We're going to talk about the hard things. We're going to talk about the hard things. So I'm going to point out that, and I said it on the last episode, if you're telling me that a man is capable of coaching a female and knowing what is best for her, why can a woman not do the same for men in their respective sports? I don't get it. I don't get it. There comes a point in every sport where it doesn't matter anatomically what's going on. X's are X's and O's are O's. The rules are the rules and the facts are the facts. And if you all have a dog, go pay your cheese tax. But there's nothing that makes someone's mind in having to know the X's and O's and having to understand the game and know the rules and being able to see things and see the way it works. There's no reason why any woman should not be able to do that for men's sports. And if you tell me that they shouldn't, then again, I'm going to look at you and go, then explain to me why we got excited. Well, I didn't, but it's a good thing that less than 60% of head coaches for a women's league, the WNBA, are men. Or women, I'm sorry. So that still means that over 40% of those coaches are men. So why are those 4 out of 10 just as equipped as women if you're not going to tell me that some of these women who know men's sports aren't just as capable as their male counterparts? So that's kind of where part of this is going to go. The other part of where this is going to go is the racial makeup, because let me tell you, that to me is even sillier than male-female. The color of someone's skin should have nothing to do at all with whether or not they can coach. It shouldn't. It absolutely should not. And if any of y'all have taken the little DNA test and figured out where you're from, You should know that, because last time I checked, none of us were purely American because, hey, we're a newer country, but we all come from somewhere. We all are very diverse in our backgrounds and histories. So it's probably going to take me a little while to make sure that episode and that lesson in it, and because it's probably going to be a lesson for a lot of people, like, let's just throw that one out there. That one's probably going to be the one that's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. And I'm okay with it. It's not comfortable to read. Trust me. It's not comfortable reading it when I'm doing this research. But that episode and the story we're going to have to tell at that point, I'm going to ask the question over and over again, why? And make it make sense. If you can make it make sense, okay, cool. But I haven't seen any valid arguments for that. So we'll get to that at that point. But I want to wrap this episode up with an email I actually got from our women's NCAA bracket winner, Coach Deb. She has, obviously by her Instagram handle, has been a coach. And so I asked her, what some of her thoughts were on this. And so I'm just going to read her email and just kind of let you know. She writes, I just wanted to give you some insight on my coaching journey and my goal of becoming an athletic director, which I was never able to obtain and which I feel was directly related to me being a female. I coached for 31 years, won 4 state championships, and had an undefeated season of 34-0. I interviewed for 2 athletic directors positions at 2 different schools, and in both cases, men were chosen to be the athletic directors. I had the same years of experience and the same level of educational degrees. In both cases, I had more success in my coaching career. One applicant had football coaching experience. The other scenario, the applicant had never had a winning season as a coach. You would think a school would want their athletic director to have experienced success and know the ingredients for a winning culture. In one of my interviews, I was told by the superintendent that, and I quote, women are taking over freaking everything, end quote. I knew that I didn't have a chance at that job and that my interview was a token interview. After the man was chosen as the athletic director, the superintendent told me that he expected to follow the directions and guidelines of the new male AD. I feel like in both interviews, being a female hurt my chances of being taken seriously as a candidate. Currently, I am an official of a women's sport that is dominated by male officials. There are also more male coaches in female sports. I am not sure why there are fewer females in these professions. I don't know if it's because women take care of their children or work in professions that don't allow them the ease of taking off from work to then also work as an official. I have been thanked on more than one occasion by a mother for being an official that looks like her daughter. Women outnumber men in society, but society totally accepts men officials and men coaches as the norm in women-dominated sports. It's a very rare occasion to have an all-female officiating crew or coaching staff. It is a big deal to see a female officiating or coaching a men's sport. Why? There's such a discrepancy, and I don't have the answer. Women officials and coaches are more than capable, but the opportunity is not there. Title IX was supposed to be a guideline to even up the inequities. However, in 2024, we still have fewer female athletic directors, officials, and coaches. Females are still behind. Also, I know one female coach who coaches boys basketball in a certain state. She coaches at a small school and has won 2 state championships. I hope some of this helps. Thanks for listening to me, Deb. I don't know that I can say anything else on this episode. She just summed up everything that I've ever wanted to say. So on that note, you can always find us on Instagram at the _podcast. You can find us on Twitter at the _pod. Send us an email at thestaredownpod@gmail.com, just like Coach Deb did. You can also find us on Facebook, the Stare Down. Stare Down is its own word, one word, but separate from the. And always, always, always make your mama proud. And go to thealabamatake.com and check out the entire family of podcasts that we have there for you. We've got some good stuff from some Alabama-linked professionals who just love what they're talking about. So, I hope y'all are ready for this. I know I am. It's going to be hard sometimes for me to put all of my thoughts into words, but I'm going to try, and I hope you're ready for it. So, sit back, relax, have a drink or two. Thank you for listening to the Stare Down. Thank you for supporting women. Thank you for supporting women who love sports. And I'll catch you next time where we dive into some harder topics. Y'all have a good week. Hotty toddy. Bye.